ourselves Majin Buu. Starting off with that aura, I love the pink. I also just love how happy he is while he's charging. Honestly, the only thing that's keeping this aura from being a 5 is the fact that every single form of Buu has the exact same aura. It's just a little overused in my opinion. So his aura is gonna get a 4. Then moving on to his grab, I think it's a fun grab, unique for this character. I like his little tummy bop at the end. It's cute, just not super exciting. I'm gonna give his grab a 3. And then we move on to the skills. Starting off, we have the Paralyzed Beam, and as you know, I am a big fan of paralysis type attacks. And then we have Sleep, which restores his health as well as his ki. Paralysis Beam is good, Sleep is really good, if not a little expensive. Still, a solid skill lineup. I'm gonna give this one a 4. And then for his blasts, he has the Buu Buu Gum. Awesome name, by the way. And this is a unique rush new to this game. He throws a little piece of himself at the opponent, and it is followed up by a really fun rush. I love seeing them get wrapped up by the Buu flesh, and then it ends off with him jumping onto the big gummy Buu thing. I don't know, it's a lot of fun. And then we have a Super Kamehameha, which is pink. It really should be called Majin Kamehameha, but I'm not gonna fault the move just for the name. It looks good, it's a solid attack, so far so good. And then for his ult, we have the Angry Explosion. And yeah, it's an explosive wave, but there's some really neat effects on him. I love the detail of the steam coming out of him, same as when he's charging, and there's some good feedback on the opponent. This is a really solid blast lineup. I'm gonna give it a 4. And then for his overall aura, I mean, it's Buu. He's just a big, silly kid. And because of that, when he is the main villain, it just makes him so creepy. In a good way. I'm willing to give Buu's aura a 4. Next up, we have Evil Buu, who came about once Majin Buu purged all of that evil energy out of him. And once again, he has the same aura, so that's gonna get a 4. And then moving on to his grab, we are going to be seeing this grab a lot. And that's a bummer because I don't really care for it. I'd probably give it a 3 if this is the only time we saw it, but the next version of Buu and all of his forms all have this grab as well. So I'm going to give it a 2. Moving on to the skills, we have that Paralyzed Beam back, as well as the Mystic Breath. Now, Mystic Breath, if you don't know, does a little bit of damage, but it can also dissipate ki attacks, as well as rushes. And it only costs 1 stock. This is a really good skill lineup in my opinion. I'm going to give it a 5. And moving on to his blasts, we have that Super Kamehameha make a return. Looks just as good as the last one. Always good to have a beam. And then we have Flame Shower Breath, where he basically just shoots out a big ol' smoke cloud. And it does decent damage, as well as the Mystic Breath effects. And then for his ultimate, this is a very good rush. It perfectly encapsulates how creepy Evil Buu is. We get that cool shot of him falling over and flying upside down, and then we get a really solid blast to finish it off. I think this is a great blast lineup. I'm gonna give this one a 5 as well. And then for his aura, just look at him. He gets a 1. And now we are on Super Buu, who in my opinion is kind of the definitive Buu, you know? Starting off with his aura, he just has that Majin aura, so that's gonna get the 4. And then we see that same grab again, so that's gonna get a 2. And then we have his skills. Firstly, he has Vice Shout, which is a paralysis type move, similar to Paralyzed Beam, so nothing's really changed there. But then we have Regeneration, which doesn't restore ki for the same amount of stocks. I gave Majin Buu a 4. I think there is a trade-off in Regeneration versus Sleep, and that is Sleep does more, but Regeneration is quicker and gets you back into the fight a little bit faster. So I'm gonna call this skill lineup a 4 as well. And then for his blasts, we have Assault Rain, which they actually made a good attack in this game. It's kind of a volley, but the tracking on these vertical beams is a lot better than it has been in previous games. I think it's actually pretty solid. And then we have Majin Beam, or in BT3, Chocolate Beam. I really like this attack as well. If you hit the beam, you turn your opponent into a little chocolate man, and then Buu punches the heck out of them, turning them back into a person. These are both really solid, unique attacks. And then we have the Revenge Death Bomber, which is an explosive wave. I love this wind-up cutscene, especially that look on his face really embodies the character. It is a last resort type move, so it also does damage to him, which I think makes it worse. Cutscene and all aside, it is just an explosive wave that does damage to himself. Still a really good blast lineup, but I'm gonna have to give it a 4. And then for his aura, like I said at the beginning, to me this is the definitive Buu. And in this form, he is super scary and evil. Of course, he annihilates all life on Earth. Everything he does is just extreme. And I think this moveset captures the character well. So, I'm gonna give his aura a 4. And now we have Gotenks Absorbed. Big fan of this absorption cutscene. Really well done. However, he does have the same aura and the same grab, so let's just move on. As for his skills, he has the explosive wave, and we see that regeneration make a return. Explosive wave provides good utility, regeneration gives you health back. I'm happy to keep this at a 4. And then for his blasts, he has the Galactic Donut Volley, which of course is taken from the Gotenks move, but he fires multiple of these key donuts. It's a super straightforward attack. I think it's a lot of fun. And then we have the special beam cannon, because at this point he does also have Piccolo Absorbed. So, unique attack, solid beam, and then we have his ult, which is just a Super Kamehameha. And as far as Super Kamehamehas go, this one is pretty solid. I do think I want to keep this one at a 4. And then his aura. First of all, huge missed opportunity not giving him the Piccolo Absorbed cape as a costume variant. Would have loved to see that. Otherwise, we are starting to get more humanity in Buu, which does become a complication down the line. He's a bit more eloquent with his words, he's understanding the martial arts aspects of fighting a little bit more, and he has a different type of cockiness from absorbing Gotenks, which I think is a lot of fun. His aura's not perfect yet, but he is getting there. I'm gonna give his aura a 4. And last up for the Super Boos, we have Gohan Absorbed. Once again, really love the absorption sequence. Again, I think it was done really well. Looks great. But just like the last one, it is the same aura and the same grab. So we're gonna move on to skills. Now this version of Buu picks up the after image, which is alright. I think I would have rather seen the wild sense here. And then we have high tension, giving us a couple of buffs. I do think that this is a downgrade from the previous skill lineup, so I'm gonna give him a 3. Moving on to his blasts, we have the Super Kamehameha moving from that ultimate slot to the Blast 1 slot. Love his little taunt. And then we have the Majin Beam make a return. And I love the differences between the two. I like that they turned into a different type of candy. I love this really satisfying kick to end the attack. Really, really nice. And then we have the best Super Ghost Buu attack that has ever been in one of these games. So once you connect to these ghosts that Buu spits out, it triggers this really awesome cutscene, just like the anime. Some of the Boos fire Kamehamehas, some of them fire Masenkos. It's just a super fun ult, and it doesn't linger too long. I am going to give these blasts a 5. And then for his aura, this is definitely peak Buu. He has all of this knowledge and all of these techniques absorbed. And this definitely feels like the final version of Buu. He also just looks really sick in Gohan's gi. Yeah, I think we made it, folks. Aura is gonna get a 5. Last up, we have Kid Buu. And starting with his aura, it is just the same aura. Love his little sparking mode charging animation, though. And he does have a unique grab. I love the way he kicks them up and then pulls them back down with his stretchy arm. Super fun grab. I'm gonna give this one a 5. And then for his skills, he picks up the instant transmission, which is solid, and he gets sleep back, which is also solid. Is this better than Fat Buu's skill lineup? I think it is. So, I'm gonna give these skills a 5. And then for his blast, we once again see the Super Kamehameha, but this time he has the iconic Mystic combination. Just got BT3 flashbacks. This one is definitely not as good as his Budokai Tenkaichi 3 rush, but it is still really solid. And it's fun to watch. And as for his ult, I'm gonna call it, I think this is one of, if not the best looking death ball in the game. The charge up is perfect, the scale is perfect. I love that shot of them holding it back before the massive explosion. Folks, this skill lineup is going to get another 5. As for Kid Buu's aura, this is, At this point, he has purged pretty much everything, and he is just pure chaos evil. All wrapped up in this tiny package. I hate looking at him, but because this design is executed so perfectly, I'm gonna give his aura a 3. And that is going to be it for this moveset review. If you enjoyed, please consider leaving a like and subscribing. It really helps me out a lot. And while you're hanging out, consider checking out some of my other content. I make a lot of sparkingzero stuff, and I live stream almost every day of the week. But with that, thank you everybody so much again for watching, and of course, as always, see you next time.